and helping the 100 people now in our team who are using Lifewave daily and their families. Big, big thank you. Love the products.
And I have energy through the roof.
I sleep better. I have so much more energy.
Throughout the day, I can focus better. I can concentrate in my work.
Our church worship service lasts 45 minutes. For the last 2 years, I've not been able to stand that long. 2.5 weeks into wearing the X39 patch, the pastor said, "You can now be seated." It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After starting using the technology for approximately 2 weeks, my pain completely disappeared.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really, really, really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
We are live. So go ahead, Sunshine. Not hearing you, Sunshower. Okay. Can't hear you. So good evening, everyone. We're going to get started in just a moment. And Dr. Pam, you can leave your camera off till we announce you and invite you in after I do my little presentation.
Can I check my sound? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Thank you. Beautiful. And Sunshower, I'm not sure what's going on with your, you're probably dialing back in, I think. So Robin, if you could watch for Sunshower and let her back in, please. And she's doing something else. Hide non-video. There we go. So there you are. I see you again.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Wonderful.
Oh, amen. Well, thank you, Gregory, for filling in while I got my technical stuff taken care of. We'd like to welcome everyone here as we introduce to you Lifewave and our big star of the show, X39. So a warm, special welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for taking time to be with us. We highly recommend that you have a notepad and a pen and be ready to take some notes, because you just might learn something that's valuable to you. And I am your host, Sunshower Rose in Sedona, Arizona. And tonight we'll be hearing a short presentation from Gregory Muscari as he talks about Lifewave, the company, our founder, David Schmidt, and of course, the star of the show, X39. And following Gregory, one of our practitioners will be joining us, a really special guest this evening, Dr. Pamela Lewin. And she'll be sharing a little bit more about the science and how you may best benefit from these amazing products. Then we'll be hearing actual results from some of our tonight's listeners. So if you have a testimonial that you'd like to share, please raise your hand, which you could do at the bottom of your screen. It says raise hand right there. And we'll recognize you and promote you to a person that would be able to actually speak and be a panelist with us. So now I'm going to turn this over to Gregory for the very first part of our meeting tonight. So over to you, Gregory.
There we go. Thank you, Sunshower, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this call. This is one of our favorite calls of the week because we have so many wonderful health practitioners that are involved with us in Lifewave, and you're going to hear from a very special one tonight, and she's going to give you some more insights into the technology, the products, and the benefits, as Sunshower said. I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen and give you a brief overview. And so I'm going to share screen. So we're going to talk about activating your stem cells. And I'm first going to tell you about my own personal realization. Maybe some of you could relate to this, is I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, younger. And I bet you many of you can relate to that. And because getting old isn't such a great thing. My grandkids think it's pretty cool, but I'm looking in the other direction for my aging process. So welcome to the stem cell revolution, because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And we found that stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that repairs and regenerates damaged cells. Now, here's the problem. The older we get, the fewer we have. And by age 60, only a small percentage remain. And the fewer we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. So here's the good news, because due to a breakthrough in human performance and wellness, you can look, feel, perform, and live younger with this historic breakthrough in wellness technology. It's a wearable technology in patch form. You can see one on my hand because I got a little owie on my hand. So it's in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, it's non-invasive, non-drug. It's a patented form of phototherapy that uses very specific frequencies of light to activate a specific copper peptide in our body that's proven to enhance stem cell activity. Now, this is the brainchild of our visionary founder and CEO, David Schmidt, who's not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, he's also a genius inventor with over 130 patents and patent pendings. And he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. And David's already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of our Lifewave phototherapy products, and many more tests and clinical studies are always in the works. That's because Lifewave is a 20-year-old advanced technology company based, we were founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology developed by David for the Navy SEALs to increase their strength, their stamina, and their performance without the use of drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. Turned out to be so effective, it's now used by world-class athletes around the world in almost every sport. We've got corporate headquarters, laboratory, and manufacturing diversified between California, Utah, and Ireland. And we have global distribution to over 75 countries from our 16 global distribution centers. Now, the word certainly is getting out about Lifewave. It's so effective. It's now used by pro and amateur athletes around the world in almost every sport. The media has begun to notice, and you know what? You might too. If you look carefully at some of your favorite athletes and maybe even Olympians, and you see these auspicious little white patches on their body, like on number 94 down there, and that's Lifewave technology. So let's discuss briefly how this amazing technology works. It's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. Lifewave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and crystals. And when they're applied or near our body, they're activated by our body heat, and they then begin to emit very specific frequencies of light, which stimulate targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in our body. This is known as photobiomodulation, and this is the foundation of our Lifewave phototherapy patches. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause very specific changes within our body. For example, I think we all know that when we go out in the sun, there's a specific frequency of light cause our body to make vitamin D. We don't get a vitamin D download from the sun. We get a frequency of light download from the sun, and that tells our body manufacture vitamin D. Now, there's another frequency of light, UV, that causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. Well, Lifewave's patented technology is based on the same rock-solid, widely recognized scientific principle. Now, our focus for the last 16 years has been in the field of anti-aging, regenerative science, and if you will, even age reversal. And in 2019, we released to the global marketplace the Lifewave X39 patch, which truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in wellness technology. Some are calling this the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science, because we're actually doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies and big pharma have not been able to do, and that is X39 actually activates a very specific copper peptide that activates our body's own stem cells, while also altering gene expression towards a younger and more vibrant you. And yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. Yes, we have field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping us to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And, you know, for us baby boomers, that's very exciting news. So that's my little introduction, Sunshower. I'm going to turn the rest of the call over to you and to our good doctor friend tonight.
Oh, thank you so much, Gregory. Well, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you Dr. Pamela Lewin. I'm going to give you the letters that go after this lady's name. MD, DPH, FAAFP. Wow, that's a lot of letters. And she's a wellness consultant. She's a retired family physician and a lover of music, poetry, and writing for children. Oh, I love that. I've been very honored to meet Dr. Lewin a couple times at events for Lifewave. So it is an honor to see you again and hope to see you again and be able to hug you again. Also, she is the co-founder of a clinic for the underserved in her city, from which she recently retired after a 54-year medical career. And just quoting you, Dr. Pam, being retired as a doctor is still being able to help hundreds of people in their quest for wellness is a win-win for me. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, indeed.
And as you said, you know, you don't have to be a doctor to do this, and that's the beautiful thing.
It's a level playing field.
Disadvantage, because when Robin and I have conversations, she tells me, take off the doctor hat, put on the networking hat.
And you do it very well. And I've seen you on stage and you present just beautifully.
Thank you.
Indeed. Well, I'll just start with a few questions towards you, and then we'll open it up for others to tell their testimonials and perhaps ask you some questions.
Sure. Are you hearing me okay? Because I saw something in the chat that they were having a hard time hearing.
It's a little low. Do you have a way to turn things up?
It's better when you're closer to your keyboard or your microphone.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see whether or not I can do something with my audio. I'm not sure. Turn them up a little.
While Dr. Pam's working on that, I'll just throw out my first question. You can be thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Is that better?
Yes. Good job.
Okay. Good.
Become a techie too.
We try.
So, one of the main questions that we always like to ask our health practitioners is, what excited you about Lifewave to use it and share it with your patients?
Yeah, well, that's a good one because, as you know, I've been in this business a long time. I prescribed a ton of medication for my patients, but all the time I knew that we were never getting to the root cause of what was wrong. We were always what we call stomping on symptoms, don't you know? The medications that we gave and the other modalities, we were covering over some things, especially when it came to like pain. You know, we were not being able to go to what's causing the pain in the first place and how can we relieve that? So I was really happy to have something that was non-transdermal, which means it doesn't go through the skin. There's no medicine in the patches. There's nothing that interacts with any medication you might be taking. There is nothing going in but a frequency of light. So you don't expect side effects, you don't expect interactions and that sort of thing. So that was exciting for me.
Wow. And you probably learned it from a person like myself, right? I mean, you weren't introduced through the medical field, were you?
Well, that was Connie Lucas. Thank you very much, Connie. She and I were in a previous life in another networking business, and they decided to go with a different business model. And so I was really looking for something else because I've always been very interested in healthy aging. You know, and this took it a step further in that it's not only healthy aging, it's actually age regeneration or turning back the clock, not just going still forward. Because as you know, as aging is different things to different people. It's not so much just the years that go by, because as the years go by, you do get 1 year more on the clock, but you don't have to get 1 year more decrepit. And that depends on the toxins that are in your environment, things that you do or don't do with your body, how active you are, what you eat, that sort of thing, how much sleep you get. And so aging is the problem. And as you get older, your body starts to lose certain raw materials that it can use to make good new cells. Every day you make 300 billion new cells. And if you are not given the right raw materials, the right signals, the right energy, you're not going to make good cells. And this is why diseases come about. But with us now, with this ability to use our patches to upregulate a peptide that's in the body called GHKCU, it's called copper peptide, we are able to use that peptide to reactivate our dormant stem cells. And as we may or may not know, stem cells are the first cells that are made when the sperm and the egg met and we developed the first new cells in the body. These were stem cells, and stem cells can make either new stem cells or any cell, any tissue, any organ, any system in the body. And so these are the cells that can make you and they can fix you. And so it's not so much about the disease process. And we're going to ask people if they're asking questions, not to mention any disease per se. We don't want diagnoses. We want symptoms that we can relate our methodology to. And so the condition doesn't really matter. What we want to know is that whatever is, because we're beings of energy, and the energy is flowing in our body, we want to keep that balance going, that metabolic balance, and we want to have the organs functioning optimally, you know? So when there is any kind of blockage of this energy, that's when things like pain occur and conditions start to occur. So we want to just, if they have questions later on, stick to just the symptom that happened rather than the disease process.
Right. Good point. Thank you so much, Dr. Pam. Do you have any stories, or one or two quick stories that you would like to share regarding patients?
Several things. One, my eyesight has got better. I have one of these membranes over the part of the eye that looks at detail, which makes me, it's on my left eye, makes me look at a line and there's a dip in the middle. But since I've been using X39, and I think carnosine as well, this dip has gone away, and the membrane, the vision looking like I was looking through a curtain, has cleared up tremendously. So I can actually drive without my glasses, and although my license says I need to still have it, so until I get a new test, I may still have to use them, but I'm seeing way better. And mental clarity, I left Jamaica, from where I'm from, many, many years ago. Didn't go back for about 30 years or so. When I went back, because they drive on the left and I've been driving on the right, I did not dare face that traffic, I'm telling you. So I kept on saying, you know, I'm not going to drive. My husband always did the driving. But last year we went, and he had some issues that he wouldn't be able to drive. And so I was the designated driver, and I was so proud of myself because I really didn't think I was going to be able to drive there anymore. And things like, you know, my hair had got really, really white, and now it's getting a little darker around the edges.
Yeah.
Got lots of energy. I sleep better. I had a shoulder problem. Every time I moved my shoulder, it went snap. People could actually hear that sound. And now I move it, you know, and there's no problem there.
Look at
My
you
neck
go.
and it doesn't make that sound now either. So
all right,
it's fixing me from top to toe, and I'm happy about it.
Oh, I am too. I've been using the patches about 4 years now, and you know, I couldn't even smell my whole life, and now I can smell. That's big stuff, you know.
That's a wonderful story. I really remember that, and that's awesome. And you are such a wonderful artist. I went to your website and I saw that. I was very impressed.
Thank you, thank you. Well, do you have any little stories you can mention about any of your patients and how it's worked for them?
Yes, there was one who came to me. She had back pain for about 2 years, and it was really bad. And so I said to her, can you put a finger on the pain? And she said, yes, right here. And I used the Lifewave patches initially, but I also put an X39 on her. And she kept on, you know, I was trying to move the white patch. I put the tan patch right where the pain was, and I was moving the white one around in the clock method. And by the second position, I said to her, so how is it now? It was a 10 at the beginning. How is it now? She kept on wriggling, saying, I can't feel the pain. And I said, you're kidding. Of course, at that time, I wasn't really so convinced of our own product myself, because this was early in the day. And I said, really? She said, yes, that was it. So I was really convinced of that. And even recently, I patched someone who had been in chronic pain all over her body. We used 2 sets of Lifewave, one at the feet, the kidney point behind the toes there, and one at the area of the pain. And she was relieved of pain and able to walk around. She said the next day she took the patch off and felt like she had been hit by a truck. I said, well, maybe you need to put them on again. And she did again, and the pain went away. So it's not just a placebo effect. It really works. And the scientific method is you use a thing and it happens. You take it away and the opposite occurs. You use it again and it happens. So we know now that the was having was really from the patches themselves.
And actually, there's a bit of an experimentation that we need to do. Our own bodies know exactly what to do, but we use our brains. And so it's like, well, I don't know if this is working. Well, move it a little bit or take it off for a little while, put it back on, right?
Yeah.
What do you suggest when you're talking with new customers or brand partners with Lifewave and they're like, well, how do I use this technology?
Well, I tell them, first of all, that they have to use it consistently. So we usually try and get them to use it for at least 90 days. But David was suggesting that for every decade of their life, they should expect to use it for 1 month. So if you're 70, 80, 90, 7, 8, 9 months. However, when you put it on, the X39 at the back of the neck, there's a bump at the back of the neck, and that's where the patch goes. And you put it right there, and it really doesn't seem to matter anywhere that you put it on the body, but because the studies were done there, and apparently through acupuncture, which is what it's based on, the movement occurs best when the patches are in certain positions. So we put it at the C7, the bump at the back of the neck, or 2 finger breaths below the belly button in front. And we put it on, we leave it on for 12 hours, and then we take it off for 12 hours so that the body doesn't get accustomed to it and fail to react to the light that's coming off our bodies. It's reflecting the infrared light, as you saw on the slides that Jeff Gregory was showing. It's reflecting back that light, but if you keep the patch on without taking it off, the effect goes away. It's called attenuation. So we really want them to take it off so the body can reset. And then when you put it on again, it will react again. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Hydrate very well. And when we talk about hydration, we're not just talking about drinking water. We want you to drink water, but take some minerals that are going to keep that water inside you. And the minerals we want to be particularly careful to take are potassium, some sodium will be there, magnesium, calcium, and copper. Copper is part of the copper peptide, and there's a website called Copper Peptide Breakthrough, and if you want to put it in the chat, maybe you can do that for me, Sunshower. Copper Peptide Breakthrough by Dr. Lauren Picard was the person who discovered this molecule, and it gives us a lot of information about actually what these patches do, because what they do is upregulate our copper peptide. So you got to drink that water, take those minerals, get a little exercise. Our bodies were meant to move, and as we move the energy through the body as well. So we want to get some good targeted exercise. There's another thing that seems to help, and David recommends it, is intermittent fasting. I confess I really haven't got into that myself very much, but it's leaving about 14 hours between your last meal of the day and the first meal the next day. So maybe if you ate 7 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, then you don't eat again until 7 the next day. And that seems to also help with energy and with other things in your body. And make sure that you're supplementing, as I was talking about, the minerals and so on. And be at peace. Try and not stress yourself too much over things that don't matter, not emergent or urgent for you. So these are the things I would recommend to my customers. And then I would say, let's see if we can get you signed up to, if they want to just be a customer, if they want to share with other customers, they can be a preferred customer, and they can put on an auto ship so that they don't stop getting them. In other words, you want to have a consistent supply. So have an auto ship, monthly supplements coming, monthly patches coming. And if they want to share with people and are not averse to getting some dollars in and getting some tax advantages by having a home-based business, they can become a brand partner and they can continue to share and get some compensation from the company, which I think is a great idea.
Really is. I really am so happy to be part of Lifewave on many levels. It's a wonderful tribe. We love each
It is,
other.
you know, this community, I wouldn't swap for the world.
Yeah, it's very heart-based business of all things.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Do
And
you-
then the things, the typical health benefits that you're likely to get when using these patches, rapid pain relief, reduce inflammation. And there's the thing about inflammation as well, because sometimes after you've been on the patches just a short while, your body might feel more pain or some discomfort, which is called retracing. When it's dealing with the inflammation, it's sloughing up the dead cells, and that can cause you some pain. So the idea is drink a lot of water and continue to use the patch. Maybe take the patch off for a couple hours. Don't use it all 12 hours in the day. Maybe use it for 5 and then try again. And actually, also, people sometimes take the patch off after they finish using it and put it on their pet. And the pet continues to use it for several hours as it is winding down, you know? And then you get better sleep, improved energy and vitality and stamina. I play pickleball. When I put my X39 and X49 on and I go play, I have no pain whatsoever. If I don't, I come back and I'm feeling very lethargic and very achy and grumpy. Then you have enhanced sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, improved skin appearance. My skin has really benefited a lot. Improved hair quality, rapid wound healing. Gregory had his patch on his hand today because he had a boo-boo there, and relief from many other health and age-related issues. So you can expect to get that, but sometimes you don't notice it because you don't notice when things are better than they were. It's only when things are not good, right? That you notice things. So we recommend that you fill out a health tracker, which the person who is introducing you to might show you. And there are some things that you want more of on a scale of 1 to 10, some things you want less of, but you fill it out before you start using the patches, after 1 day, after 1 week, and so on after a month. And that's when you really can tell by tracking it over time, being consistently wearing the patches and seeing that there has been a difference. And the thing is, these stem cells have a wisdom all their own. They know where to go. And although you may be looking for that boo-boo to heal, it may be working somewhere else, like in your GI tract or on your cardiovascular system, someplace else, which is more detrimental to your health, basically. And it's dealing with it, and it'll come back to where you were, what you're looking for and what you're expecting in time. So have patience, continue to use the patches, and then just keep on.
Just one other quick question, and that is, are there any contraindications about using our technologies?
Well, it's not exactly a contraindication, but because we really haven't tested people like that, there's a proviso or a disclaimer that we shouldn't use it. If there's someone who is undergoing or has just recently undergone a transplant, they're on medications to prevent rejection and to decrease their own body's inflammation and cells that are going to try and do this, to get rid of this foreign body that's placed in them. And so our patches upregulate your cells that are going to do that rejection. So we don't want to cause any problems with the organ that has been transplanted. So for transplantation, yeah, we say don't take the patch. At least don't use the patch during that period. And I imagine I've heard stories of people who have had transplants after a while, not in the immediate post-surgery period, but after they've had it for a while and they've used patches without problems. And if you're actively undergoing chemotherapy or radiation treatment, I'm thinking that they're recommending not to use a patch at that time. We can use it. It has not been tested, but there are pediatricians among us who use it on their kids. And we recommend, as long as the child can talk and tell you, how they feel and what's happening, then it seems to be okay. And we can use it on our pets, horses, dogs, cats, chickens, fish.
Yep.
Who knows what else.
That's right. As long as they're breathing.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you. It's so informative. Thank you so much. You're
Thank
really eloquent with what you say, and we really appreciate your presence. I'd
Thank
like to let other folks ask you questions or maybe say a testimonial. I think there's a few hands raised. Is there someone that's going to help me with unmuting folks and maybe calling out the right names? Oh, it looks like Lovell is first. Is that right?
Lavelle.
Well, I did it again.
Yeah, go ahead, Lavelle.
Well,
Hey, Sunshower. Hey, Doctor. That was powerful. I took some notes, and you said that we actually generate about 300 billion new cells a day.
Be with a billion new cells every
day?
single day, every
Oh
day.
my!
We kill off
That,
that many and we replace them with new cells.
so we peel off that many, we lose that many, and then we can regain that many, especially if we're using our nutrition and of course with our stem cell activation pack. So just to
That's
let
right.
you
There's a
know,
process called apoptosis, which means when the cells are old and no longer viable, then we throw them off and then we replace them with new cells, good new cells.
I'm going to Google apoptosis in a minute. As soon as
Correct.
I want to learn. I want to learn.
APOPTOS.
Now, so here's the thing. I was at the supermarket today shopping, and I was talking with some of the checkout people, and I was saying tomorrow I'm going to start getting all my benefits because I'm turning 65 tomorrow.
Congratulations.
And the young lady, her name is Michelle, and the gentleman Matthew, I know them very well. They said, you're 45, you're 65. So I've been using the patches for 4 years. So hey, there you go. It looks like it must be.
That's so sweet. Yeah, congrats.
But I do want to share. Saturday, I was at a men's breakfast at one of our local churches, and I was patching some people with my system is X39 in energy, because as you said, we need energy to heal. That's my system. And 3 out of 4 people got immediate results. And we were selling patches right there on the spot. And they were like, oh my gosh, is this a placebo or not? And then I just let them know, hey, here, go look at Horses Don't Lie. So that's my story.
That's right. Exactly.
And I'm sticking to it.
And indeed, people are different and they react differently. So they have a different gene concentration, some within minutes, some within 24 hours, some will react after a while. So we have genetic differences which react differently when we wear the patches.
Correct. Now, my wife is on my cell phone. So Sunshine Rose, you may see my name twice, and she wants to share a story and ask a question. So you might see my name again. Thanks so much for letting me share. God bless everyone. Have a great evening.
thanks so much, Lavelle. Okay, is Allie next then?
Actually, we'll do Allie, and then we'll do Mijay after that. So go ahead, Allie. You'll have.
I have been basically homebound for the last 2 or 3 years because some brain surgery left me without what you need to keep your heartbeat regular. And of course, the doctors I was seeing were telling me, oh, it's only going to get worse with time. They gave me medicine that made it worse. And I have discovered a combination of patches, basically X39, 49, and energy enhancers. I can control if it starts, I can go back into a normal rhythm. So I've been telling my family and friends, this year I'm going to come see you.
Wonderful. And you can try carnosine as well.
Yeah, that hasn't made a noticeable difference for me, but I'm just so grateful because I used to be like 24, 36 hours with my heart going boom, 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 boom. That's not
tough.
fun.
Yeah. Great job there, Allie.
Thanks, Allie. Good to see you again. And who's next?
Mijay. You can, please.
Hello, community. I am so excited to be here right now. Guys, I mean, the Lifewave technology has taken over my life completely. I mean, living without it is like living without breath. Okay, I just want to put it out there. Well, my story is, and then I have a question, is that just recently, January through probably the end of March into, not the end of March, we haven't gotten there, the middle 2 weeks of March, I have been strictly on the patches. I had, for my knee, I slipped and fell. I was running from my 16-year-old son, and my left knee gave out. And I thought I was a Tootsie Roll and found out that I was peanut brittle. Oh my gosh. I am telling you the truth. I slid from the front of the house to the back of the house, and I was in agony. Oh my gosh. And I was trying not to let my face hit the ground. So my face, thank God, landed in a bag. And I was wearing socks and terry cloth slippers when my knee gave out when I was running, and my slipper came off, and that's what sent me flying. Well, initially, I reluctantly took 3 Tylenols to break the pain, and I was patching at the same time. Well, I have gotten so much better just on the patches, and I had x-rays, nothing was broken, thank God. And so I had no fractures, but I had torn tissue, which takes longer to heal, and ligaments and tendons. So that's what I have in the inside of my left knee. And so just patching it with carnosine, with X39, and moving the energy and using the energy patches. The swelling went down immediately, just happened just like that. And so I'm really excited about using the patches and how they really work if you're staying consistent with it. I was bedbound for 2.5 months though, but no more pain like I was. So amen to that. My question is,
Thank you for that. No more skating through the house now.
No, I don't think so. Not at almost 60 years old this year, so no.
Congrats.
Thanks. So my question is, one of my teammates, my success partners, have a situation, and I wanted to inquire about it. We were going to do it last Sunday, but we didn't do it. So I wanted to inquire about someone going through the C process with, I think it's either the R or radiation,
I catch what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying,
To
but
be very compliant and very
yes. So
careful.
I'm trying to figure out what I could say, So
yes,
they're going
the
through it 5
proliferation of bad
times.
cells.
Yes, they're going through it for 5 times a week. How can they use the product successfully?
I think that Alavida might be a patch that they can use, because usually it's the stem cell patches, X39, X49, that are not, Sunshine, I'll use the word contraindicated, but that are not recommended. But the other ones are usable during those times too. So if Eon maybe, the Alavida and even the other parts, the creams that Alavida does, because with that, sometimes your skin gets a little burned as well. And so let's see how that goes.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you for helping me to explain what I was trying to explain. I really appreciate that, Doc. Okay.
I got your meaning right away.
Yes. Thank you so
but
much.
you
God
know,
bless.
let's just address that just for a second. And people often ask, will these patches, because they make new cells, will they make these bad cells happen more often in your body? And the answer to that is generally no, because these cells, it's like they don't get the right blueprint. They have been subject to toxins and other things, and their genetic material has changed, and so they're mutated, and they're continuing to reproduce themselves in a way that's not consistent with the blueprint for the body that's good for the body, if you want to put it that way. And so our patches will then tend to make it happen the opposite. Will tend to give them the correct blueprint for making cells and work in the opposite direction. If you go to that copper peptide breakthrough website, you'll see the medical doctors have found that copper peptide does address malignancies. I can use that word because of that context. We can't claim it with our patches because we have not tested that way. But the copper peptide is useful, and you can make the inference where one ends and the next begins. Do you see what I'm saying with our patches?
Yes.
However, yeah, so we don't fear that one anymore because we do have combinations of patch protocols that we can use to help us conquer all of those kinds of cell lines.
Okay, great. I did advise, that seed does not thrive in a well oxidated body.
Alkalinated, yes,
Yes,
alkalinized, true.
alkaline body, right. With oxygen, the ion forces oxygen into our bloodstream. Isn't that correct? Systemically throughout our body?
Yes, it helps and it balances out our nervous system and it cuts down on stress and does a number of other things, yeah. But it
Okay,
helps
so
us to
that would be a
utilize
great
oxygen
patch to use.
well.
Yes. Okay, great. Thanks, Doc. Back
Yes,
to
you're
you,
welcome.
Sunshower.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's
Thank
see.
Heidi.
We will take one more question because
Heidi's there.
we're getting a little bit short on time. So we'll take Heidi's question.
Hi, Dr. Lewin. I don't know if I've unmuted.
Yes.
Yes, you have. We can hear you, Heidi.
First of all, I just want to say your skin and Sunshower skin from the last time I saw you in May of last year is radiant. I cannot believe you look younger. It's just, it's phenomenal. So my question is just to form a question for someone that was in the chat. They were asking if the multiplicity of patches that they wear at the same time, how long to rest in between, say, a combination of X39 and Eon and maybe Alavita if you're wearing one at night, and if they can overlap the time frames. And so it's kind of, in my opinion, it's a threefold question: is can you wear the patches at the same time, and how long should you rest in between the frequency of one individual patch if you're wearing it at the same time as other multiple patches? So I hope I formed that well.
So that's a great question. Thank you for that. So basically, each patch has a different frequency, a different wavelength of light is going in. So they can be worn, you can wear them all at the same time because each one is individual and it's different. However, there are some patches that seem to wear better in the day, and there are some patches that you wear better in the night because you don't want to get your energy at night when you're trying to sleep, and you don't want to be falling asleep in the day when you're trying to be awake. So if you have them just day and night, you can take off your day patches in the evening, put on your night patches, and then take those off in the morning, put on your day patches, and there's no problem with that. You can continue that until the cows come home.
But Dr. Lewin, what about the rest time? So let's just use X39 as an
12
example.
hours.
Let's say I only wore it for like 11 hours and 30 minutes. Can I rest for 11 hours and 30 minutes, or do I have to rest for the full 12 hours?
It's recommended you rest for the full 12 hours, even if you haven't worn the patch for 12 hours. The patches actually have about 20 hours worth of juice in them, you know what I mean, activity. And so occasionally, we don't recommend it very often, you can take off a patch. If you've worn it for, say, 5 hours, let's say, and taken it off, you can put that same patch on for the next 5 hours, maybe. However, you don't want to do that very often because even when you leave it off, once you've activated it, it's like a battery and it may be wearing down. But if you use them, let's say you put it on 7 o'clock in the morning, they say put it by your toothbrush. So you remember you brush your teeth in the morning and in the evening. So you have your patches there. The 7 o'clock patch you're going to put on, then you're taking off the one you put on 7 o'clock at night. And then you're going to put on that day, leave it on for 12 hours, take it off for 12 hours, put on the next one. You're alternating patches and you're using them for 12 hours at a time. You can swim in them, you can bathe in them, you can, walk in the rain in them. That's not going to bother them. So the fact that you have them on in the day or in the night, it doesn't really matter. As I mentioned, there are some that are better at night and some that, Eon, some people think it makes you sleep or helps you calm down. So they tend to wear it more at night. But Eon is a very good pain patch, and you can wear it during the day if you choose to.
I just want to thank you, because the reason why I started patching was because I got the answer to that very same question 2 years ago. So I am so grateful that you answered it exactly how I had it answered for me 2 years ago. And I just want to thank the person that asked it in the chat. Her name was Linda. And
Okay.
so I hope that answers Linda's question as it did mine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Wow. And such an insightful answer, so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Pam. So we are going to wrap this up, and we want to thank everybody that's come this evening for taking time and listening and learning. Hope you took some good notes. If you have questions, please talk with the person that invited you. If you're interested in getting started, talk with the person that invited you. We're all here for you. And so we want you to just get started, whether you're a customer or whether you decide to do this as a business and share. We'd love to have you come aboard as a brand partner. I want to thank Gregory. Thank you so much for having this call with his wife, Robin. Robin and Gregory, we love you so much. Thank you for organizing these and having them every week for however many years.
So
and
faithful.
for inviting me to be a host now with you once a month. So Sunshower here with Dr. Pamela Lewin and Gregory and Robin. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, everyone. Good night. Great call, ladies. That was wonderful. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.